Hey everyone! So late last year, the results for the World Best Hero Global Popularity Contest were announced. And guess who won? Bakugo. Again, he got over 1.6 million votes out of 6 million total, beating Deku by 400,000 votes. And I'm here to tell you why this is a problem. Before you Bakugo stans come for me in the comments, hear me out. I've got receipts, I've got data, and most importantly, I've got the manga ending on my side. Buckle up, because we're about to dive into popularity polls, character development, and the cold hard truth about everyone's favorite explosion boy. Let's start with the facts. Bakugo has absolutely dominated the My Hero Academia popularity polls. And I'm not even exaggerating. Looking at the history of these polls, we can see a clear pattern emerging that honestly should make us all question what's going on. In the very first popularity poll back in 2015, Bakugo actually came in third place in Japan with 1,764 votes. Deku won with 2,314 votes. Todoroki came second with 1,987 votes, and Bakugo was trailing behind. But here's where it gets interesting. In America, Bakugo ranked even lower at 5th place, behind Deku, Tsuyu, Uraraka, and All Might. Even back then, Western audiences were seeing something different in this character. But then something changed. By the 5th popularity poll in 2019, Bakugo exploded to first place with 22,000 votes, nearly double what Deku got at 12,000 votes. The 6th poll in 2020, Bakugo again, with almost 15,000 votes, almost double Deku's 8,000. And now, the 2024 World Best Hero Global Poll, Bakugo with 1.6 million votes, beating Deku by over 400,000 votes. The poll ran in 2 phases. The main stage lasted from August 5th to September 30th, 2024, where fans voted to determine the top 10 characters. Then the top 3, Bakugo, Deku, and Todoroki, advanced to the Plus Ultra stage, a 24-hour voting period in early December where Bakugo ultimately claimed victory and earned the right to be immortalized with a statue. Here's my first major point. This level of dominance is suspicious. Not because Bakugo isn't a good character, he absolutely is, but because the gap between him and literally everyone else has become absurd. We're talking about a series called My Hero Academia, where the main character is Izuku Midoriya, and yet Bakugo is beating him by margins that would make a landslide election look competitive. Now here's where things get really interesting. And this is the part that Bakugo fans really don't want to talk about. Let's talk about what actually happened to Bakugo at the end of the manga, because this is the smoking gun that proves my entire point. In the epilogue of My Hero Academia, we find out the final hero rankings in Japan. And where do you think Bakugo ended up? Top 3, right? I mean, he's the most popular character in the world, according to these polls. He's incredibly powerful. He fought in the final war. He literally died and came back. Surely he's one of the top heroes in Japan, right? Wrong. Bakugo debuted on the Hero Billboard chart at number 4. Pretty good, right? But then his rankings started to fall, and fall, and fall. By the time we see him in chapter 431, Bakugo has dropped all the way down to number 15. Let me repeat that. 15th place. Not top 10. Not even close to top 3. 15th. And here's the kicker. In the final epilogue 8 years later, he only manages to climb back up to number 5. The final top 5 heroes are Lemillion at number 1, Todoroki at number 2, Mount Lady at number 3, Deku at number 4, and Bakugo at number 5. That's right, Todoroki, his supposed rival, beat him. Deku, the person he bullied and looked down on, beat him. Even Mount Lady beat him. Now, why did this happen? Was it because Bakugo wasn't strong enough? Absolutely not. The manga makes it crystal clear that Bakugo is one of the strongest heroes of his generation. He's incredibly powerful, his quirk is versatile, and his combat instincts are second to none. So what held him back? His personality. The same harsh, abrasive, explosive personality that fans love and make excuses for is exactly what prevented him from achieving his dream. The manga explicitly states that Bakugo's ranking fell because of his bad character, his inability to socialize properly, and his harsh and erratic behavior with the public. The people of Japan, the ones he's supposed to be saving, couldn't get over how he acts. This is the most delicious irony in the entire series. Bakugo's whole character arc is about wanting to be the number 1 hero, to surpass All Might, to be the best. And yet, the very traits that make him cool and badass to fans are the exact same traits that ensure he will never achieve that dream. Horikoshi literally wrote it into the story. Bakugo's personality is his greatest weakness, and it's the one thing he refuses to fully change. Let's address the elephant in the room that Bakugo fans love to ignore. The bullying. And I'm not talking about just any bullying. I'm talking about years of systematic abuse, physical violence, and psychological torment that Bakugo inflicted on Izuku Midoriya. Let's recap. Bakugo told Deku to jump off a building. He called him Deku as an insult for years. He physically assaulted him repeatedly. He destroyed his belongings. He isolated him socially. He did all of this to someone who was quirkless, someone who had no way to defend himself, someone who still considered Bakugo his friend. This wasn't just kids being kids. This was sustained, malicious abuse that lasted for over a decade. Now, I know what you're going to say, but he had a redemption arc. He apologized. He changed. And sure, Bakugo does eventually apologize to Deku, and he does show growth. But here's my question. Does that redemption arc actually work? Does Bakugo truly change at his core? Or does he just learn to channel his aggression differently? The manga ending answers this question for us. If Bakugo had truly overcome his personality flaws, if he had genuinely become a better person who could connect with people and inspire them the way All Might did, then he would have been able to reach the top 3, but he didn't. Even 8 years later, his personality is still holding him back. He's still at number 5 because he's still the same abrasive, aggressive person he's always been. Compare this to characters like Deku, who genuinely inspires people and connects with them emotionally. Compare it to All Might, who became the symbol of peace not just through strength, but through his ability to make people feel safe and hopeful. Compare it to Lemillion, who ended up as the number 1 hero, specifically because he embodied those same qualities. These characters understand that being a hero isn't just about power, it's about how you make people feel. Bakugo never fully learns this lesson, and yet, he's the most popular character in the fandom. What does that say about us as fans? So if Bakugo doesn't deserve number 1, who does? Let's talk about the characters who actually should be dominating these popularity polls. Let's start with the obvious one, Deku. You know, the main character of the series, the person whose journey we've been following for over 400 chapters, the kid who went from quirkless to wielding One for All to becoming the number 4 hero in Japan. Deku's story is objectively more compelling than Bakugo's. He starts with nothing and earns everything through hard work, determination, and genuine heroism. He saves people, not because he wants glory or recognition, but because he genuinely cannot stand by and watch someone suffer. He inherits the legacy of All Might and carries it forward. He defeats All for One and ends the war. He becomes a teacher to inspire the next generation, and then gets brought back as a pro-hero with support items that let him continue saving people. Deku represents everything a hero should be: selfless, determined, analytical, and genuinely good. And yet, in the 2024 global poll, he got 1.2 million votes compared to Bakugo's 1.6 million. That's a gap of over 400,000 votes for the main character of the series. How does that even make sense? Here's another one that absolutely blows my mind. All Might, the greatest hero in the series, the symbol of peace, the man who held society together for decades, the person who inspired an entire generation of heroes. Where do you think he ranked in the global poll? 12th place. All Might got 107,000 votes, putting him at number 12, behind characters like Aizawa, Kirishima, Endeavor, Hawks, Dabi, Shigaraki, and even Monoma. The man who literally defined what it means to be a hero in this universe is sitting at 12th place, while Bakugo dominates at number 1. Let that sink in. And in the very first popularity poll back in 2015, All Might ranked 5th in Japan with only 627 votes. 5th, behind Deku, Todoroki, Bakugo, and Uraraka. The symbol of peace, the greatest hero in the world, couldn't even crack the top 3 in his own series popularity poll. This tells us something really important about what fans value. They don't necessarily value heroism, sacrifice, or inspiration. They value characters who are cool, badass, and powerful, even if those characters are fundamentally flawed in ways that would make them terrible heroes in real life. Let's talk about Hawks for a second. Here's a character who actually understands what it means to be a hero in the modern age. He's powerful, strategic, charismatic, and genuinely cares about people. He made impossible choices during the war. He sacrificed his own morality to infiltrate the League of Villains, and he killed his own abuser to protect society. Hawks ranked 7th in the global poll with 210,000 votes. 7th, a character who embodies everything a modern hero should be, who actually understands public relations and how to inspire people, who made genuine sacrifices for the greater good, and he's sitting at 7th place while Bakugo is at 1st. The point I'm making is this. There are so many characters in My Hero Academia who are more deserving of the top spot than Bakugo. Characters with better development, more compelling arcs, greater heroism, and actual growth that sticks. And yet, Bakugo continues to dominate these polls year after year. Now, let's get analytical for a minute. Why do fans love Bakugo so much? What is it about this character that makes him so overwhelmingly popular, despite all the issues I've just outlined? I think there are a few reasons. First, Bakugo is cool. There's no denying it. His design is great, his quirk is flashy and powerful, and his fight scenes are consistently some of the best in the series. Explosions are inherently exciting, and Horikoshi knows how to draw dynamic action sequences that make Bakugo look absolutely incredible. Second, Bakugo is confident. In a genre filled with self-doubting protagonists and anxious heroes, Bakugo stands out as someone who is absolutely certain of his own abilities. He doesn't hesitate, he doesn't second-guess himself, and he charges forward with absolute conviction. For fans who are tired of wishy-washy protagonists, Bakugo is refreshing. Third, Bakugo has development. I'm not going to pretend he doesn't grow as a character. He absolutely does. Watching him slowly learn to work with others, acknowledge Deku's strength, and eventually apologize for his past behavior is genuinely satisfying. The problem is that this development doesn't go far enough, and it doesn't fundamentally change who he is at his core. But here's where it gets problematic. By making Bakugo so overwhelmingly popular, fans are essentially saying that these surface-level traits, coolness, confidence, power, are more important than actual heroism, growth, and moral character. They're saying that it's okay to be abusive, aggressive, and antisocial as long as you're strong and look cool doing it. This is especially concerning when you consider the demographic of My Hero Academia's audience. This is a series aimed primarily at young people, and the message being sent by these popularity polls is that characters like Bakugo, who bully others, refuse to genuinely change, and prioritize their own glory over helping people, are more admirable than characters like Deku, All Might, or Hawks who actually embody heroic values. The manga itself rejects this interpretation. Horikoshi literally wrote the ending to show that Bakugo's personality holds him back, that he can't achieve his dreams without genuinely changing, and that true heroism requires more than just power and confidence. And yet, fans continue to ignore this message and elevate Bakugo above everyone else. Here's something fascinating that I think deserves more attention. The regional differences in how Bakugo is perceived. Remember how I mentioned that in the first popularity poll, Bakugo ranked 3rd in Japan but 5th in America? That gap is significant, and it tells us something important about cultural differences in how we view characters. Japanese fans have consistently ranked Bakugo higher than Western fans. In Japan, there's a cultural appreciation for the tsundere archetype and characters who show their care through aggressive actions rather than words. Bakugo fits this mold perfectly. He's harsh and abrasive on the surface, but fans interpret his actions as showing that he secretly cares. Western fans, particularly American fans, have historically been more critical of Bakugo's behavior. The bullying, the aggression, the refusal to apologize for years. These traits don't align as well with Western heroic ideals. We tend to value heroes who are openly compassionate, who communicate clearly, and who show genuine remorse for their mistakes. However, as the series has progressed and Bakugo has shown more development, Western fans have warmed up to him significantly. The global poll shows that Bakugo's appeal has become more universal, but I would argue that this is more about fans being won over by his cool factor and combat prowess than by genuine character growth. So let's bring this all together. Why doesn't Bakugo deserve to be number 1 in the popularity polls? Reason 1. The manga itself proves that his personality is his greatest flaw. He couldn't reach the top 3 heroes in Japan specifically because of his behavior and attitude. If the story itself is telling us that Bakugo's personality holds him back from greatness, why are fans ignoring this message? Reason 2. His redemption arc, while present, is incomplete. Bakugo apologizes to Deku, yes, but he doesn't fundamentally change who he is. 8 years after the main story ends, he's still struggling with the same personality issues that have always defined him. That's not growth. That's stagnation with a thin coat of paint. Reason 3. There are objectively more deserving characters. Deku, the main character who embodies true heroism. All Might, the symbol of peace, who defined an era. Hawks, who understands what modern heroism requires. Todoroki, who overcame genuine trauma and became a better person. All of these characters have more compelling arcs and better character development than Bakugo. Reason 4. The overwhelming popularity of Bakugo sends a problematic message about what we value in heroes. By elevating a character who is aggressive, abusive, and refuses to genuinely change above characters who embody actual heroic values, we're telling young fans that power and coolness matter more than compassion and growth. Reason 5. The numbers don't lie. Bakugo ended up at number 5 in the hero rankings, behind Lemillion, Todoroki, Mount Lady, and Deku. The in-universe public, the people he's actually supposed to be saving, recognize that his personality makes him less effective as a hero. Why can't the fandom see the same thing? Look, I'm not saying Bakugo is a bad character. He's not. He's complex, he's well-written, and he serves an important role in the story. But being a good character doesn't automatically make you deserving of being the most popular character, especially when that popularity seems to be based on ignoring or excusing his fundamental flaws. So here we are, December 2024, and Bakugo has once again claimed the top spot in the My Hero Academia popularity polls. He's beaten Deku, Todoroki, and every other character in the series, with over 1.6 million votes out of 6.12 million total. He's getting a statue. He's been crowned World Best Hero. And I'm here to tell you that this is a problem. The beauty of My Hero Academia is that it's a story about what it truly means to be a hero. It's about overcoming your limitations, helping others, inspiring hope, and making the world a better place. These are the values that characters like Deku, All Might, and Hawks embody. These are the values that the story itself celebrates and rewards. Bakugo, for all his strength and development, never fully embraces these values. He remains fundamentally self-centered, aggressive, and unable to connect with people on an emotional level. And the story punishes him for this by ensuring he never reaches the top spot he so desperately wants. So the next time there's a popularity poll, I want you to really think about what you're voting for. Are you voting for the coolest character? The most powerful character? The one with the flashiest quirk? Or are you voting for the character who actually embodies what it means to be a hero? Because at the end of the day, My Hero Academia isn't called My Explosion Academia or My Angry Boy Academia. It's called My Hero Academia. And heroes are supposed to be more than just strong and cool. They're supposed to inspire us, help us, and show us how to be better people. Bakugo doesn't do that, and that's why he doesn't deserve to be number 1. Alright, that's it for this video. I know I'm about to get destroyed in the comments by Bakugo fans, and you know what? Bring it on. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why Bakugo deserves that top spot. But make sure you actually address the points I made, especially the fact that the manga itself shows his personality holding him back from greatness. If you enjoyed this hot take, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Drop a comment below telling me who you think deserves to be number 1 in the popularity polls. Is it Deku, All Might, Hawks, Todoroki, or are you going to defend Bakugo? Let me know. And hey, if you want to see more controversial anime takes, more deep dives into character development, and more analysis of why your favorite character is actually problematic, stick around. I've got plenty more where this came from. Thanks for watching, and remember, Plus Ultra means being the best hero you can be, not just the most popular one.